evening, everyone. This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope y'all been having a great weekend. It's been the best weather weekend in a very long time. No rain, beautiful, beautiful weather. Temperatures have been great. Coolest morning of the season so far this morning. It dropped down to 45 degrees here at my location. We had a lot of 30s for lows, especially up in this area right here, in the definitely out in the rural areas, where in the country areas and things like that, where the temperatures always drop a few degrees lower. But this is right now, we're dropping pretty good, already in the 50s in parts of the upstate, the 60s in places in the Columbia. We're going to cool off pretty good tonight, probably not quite as much as we did overnight last night, but it's going to be a fantastic evening and a nippy morning in the morning. So if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this video, and you haven't subscribed, I really would appreciate if you would. Growth is slow right now due to just not a lot going on with the weather, so it's kind of hard to talk about things if there's just not a lot going on. So we're going to talk about what I expect weather-wise next week or so. I am watching a potential big change in the future that may or may not materialize, but let's just jump right into it. So this week, this is dew point, so basically this is humidity. And guys, I'll reiterate this, in the 60s and 70s for dew points. That 60s is somewhat humid, 70s is very humid. So we have a pretty decent air mass still overhead in our area for tomorrow, for highs and things like that. Dew points are still in the 50s, especially in the upstate. We still have some really good fall air out there, but we start to lose it. As you can tell, we start to get into Tuesday, and basically those 50s for dew points begin to kind of just go away, and we get a good old just this is the pattern you don't want to see in winter, because it basically scorches us in the winter. But so this is going to dominate our weather, and this gets all the way to Friday. And so it is not going to be super humid, but you're going to notice that it's just you're not going to feel what we've been feeling this weekend. It's going to be a tick more humid. I don't think it'll be quite as humid as this past week before the front went through, but the humidity will definitely be there. And I'll be honest, guys, this weekend looks nothing compared. This coming weekend looks nothing compared to this weekend that we're in now, or this past weekend, you can go on and say. But check out here, GFS still flirting with the idea of some kind of tropical system somewhere out here, but it's definitely done away with how close it was in the previous runs over the last several days. But we're getting into next Saturday, which confidence in this time frame is not very good. I do want to mention low chances of rain in this entire time period, but you still got humid air even until next Monday, which is October 26th. You're starting to get closer to Halloween here. But check out here, this big old bowling ball of basically that's like winter air right there. You got dew points in the teens, but it begins to inch, and I mean inch. It does not want to move. This southeast ridge, if you will, is dominating our weather pattern for the next 7 or 10 days. Unfortunately, but a big old cold front is going to try to get its way in here before Halloween and really bring us some cooler temperatures for Halloween. I really think it's been showing up. It has just been showing up. It'll show up in a closer time frame, and then it'll back up. So that pretty much tells me confidence is kind of low on what exactly will happen. But I still think there's going to be a cold front maybe a day or two before Halloween or around the Halloween time frame that's going to knock us to more fall-like temperatures again. But check it out. You get deep into the time frame here, and then from, let's back it up here, from basically Thursday, the 29th of October through the rest of the run, you have really dry air. Well, this is the latest run, so it's not playing all the way through 306 hours, but so this is the Euro. This is from the 12Z, and same kind of thing, man. It's just you start to lose the low dew points. The Euro wants to hang on to it a little bit more. The Euro's not quite as humid, I guess you would say, as the GFS, but it pretty much keeps the same idea. Dew points in the 60s. Florida's just back to a tropical rainforest in October. The mountains, are able to keep its own dry air there for a while due to the elevation, but we're getting into this Friday. We're getting into the weekend. Still very humid. The Euro wants to bring this front end much quicker than the GFS, but not a whole lot quicker. But it kind of just wants to keep it right here. And these are dew points, and so eventually it kind of reloads here, and it brings a major cold front. I mean, you got dew points in the 60s and 70s, and then you got dew points in the 20s, just a couple states away. And that is a digging cold front too. Got to watch for severe weather on a cold front like this. And that is some low dew points and some drier and just blast through from the west here. It's all the way to the end of to the south end of Florida right there. So it's crazy. This is temperatures. We're gonna kind of fly through this kind of quick. So highs tomorrow in the 70s. Still think it'll be a beautiful day, but you'll notice it is much warmer. We get overnight tomorrow. It's still a cool, crisp night, especially in the upstate. Especially in the upstate, it'll still be a very nice evening. But 80s begin to dominate our pattern statewide, and lows statewide probably still only getting to the upper 50s, low 60s, and it'll just be a warm week for October standards. We're getting a Thursday, still 80s for highs. We're getting into the weekend. It'll be a warm weekend. It's going to be in the 80s this weekend, which isn't that bad, but if it's too humid, I personally, I'm not a big fan of it. But check out that cold front. Here it comes. Very, very slowly. They're getting into next Monday. And right here, these are high temperatures. Now, we're 216 hours out in the GFS. Not very accurate, but check out Florida, the southeast in the 80s, not just the 80s, mid-80s. And this is high temperatures for next Tuesday. Check out them high temperatures below freezing. Probably not going to happen, but it tells you, it gives you an idea there's a sharp cold front setting up. Euro's showing it, the GFS is showing it. It's just, when is it going to move through? I really think it'll move through a day or two before Halloween. But good gracious, I mean, look at these lows in the teens. I don't think that's going to happen, but that is a serious cold blast. And here it is, high temperatures next Wednesday for the GFS, showing 80s here, 40s a state away for high temperatures. So that's crazy. You just don't see that, and that would be a pretty major event if it was to unfold. But we're getting pretty far out here. But widespread freezes right before Halloween, the GFS is showing, and the Euro's kind of showing the same thing. I'll show you here in a second. But you're getting so far out now that it doesn't really even matter. But this is the Euro for temperatures. Same thing. One thing with the Euro, and here's the days if you want to know what day we're at. One thing for the Euro, when Tuesday highs, is the temperatures. They're not quite as warm. It keeps a lot of the state in the 70s. Again, it'll be a little bit more humid. But we're getting into Thursday now, statewide in the 70s and 80s. Low temperatures in the low 60s for most of the state. But here comes the cold front next Saturday. You got some cooler air beginning to sneak through, but then it stalls. But here it comes digging right here. This is a stout cold front if this was true. And here it comes and sweeps through the state and bringing probably the coolest air of the season if the Euro was to occur. So, to make a long story short, if you made it this far in the video, it's going to be a warm next 7 to possibly 10 days. Above average temperatures, above average low temperatures, high temperatures, and it pretty much depicts this on the Climate Center here, showing a 6 to 10 day outlook, above average temperatures here in the southeast. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit happier for out there in the west because they've been baking with the wildfires and things like that. So it's good to have them getting a little bit of cool air here. But even this 8 to 14 day outlook, saying a 50% probability of above average temperatures. So one thing I am watching though, and it's obvious that they're noticing it too, is the fact that in the 6 to 4 week outlook, which can't hold much to this, it's showing a chance of below average temperatures. So it's seeing that cold front that I talked about. This is the last thing I'll show you, and I'm only going to do Columbia's. This is the GFS from the 12Z. I'm only going to do Columbia's because it's the city right in the middle of the state, and I feel like it's just a good one to show here. But it basically gives you a good idea of what to expect. This is today, Monday. This is October 19th. Tomorrow, you get the idea here. So throughout the whole entire week, highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. It even lasts all the way through next Tuesday, and then it's showing a sharp cold front that just knocks us back to cool temperatures, very cool temperatures if this was to hold right before Halloween. So that's pretty much it, guys. I do think that it's going to be a warm week for October standards, but I do think that a big-time cold front is going to eventually come here in the next week and a half. But I'll be watching to see it happens. I'll be watching for consistency in the models. I don't see any severe weather threats or anything like that. Nothing major. We're just kind of flowing with it at this point. So that's all I got. I hope y'all have had a great weekend, and y'all have a great week. God bless all y'all.